This is Date Master, and yes, we're back again with another banger here. She is perfectly fine with building nothing as long as she's happy. In modern times today, you look at relationships, you look at the whole dating, you look at the makeup, you look at the daily behaviors of the modern man and the modern woman. You can pretty much identify this is, again, if you're initiated, if you have been touched, if your third eye is awakened, if you're if you took the red pill, quote unquote. There are some things that you can see that others won't see. Your woman is going to dictate a lot in your future if you do not pick the correct woman, if you do not understand the woman in which you've chosen. You see, there's a process that all men must go through, and that is the process of adversity and either success or failure. The thing is, both go hand in hand. If you don't want to go through the failure, you're not going to reach the success. Most people give it up quick because the treatment that they get from their woman eventually changes because she's only going to be appeased and happy for so long. See, the thing when you hear women talk about, you see the rhetoric that a lot of women give, which is them being happy in this consistent state of bliss. You can tell that they have not been around a successful man from a father standpoint. They may have came in contact sexually during a brief period of time, but they don't know what that man went through to get there because they don't stick around for the process. They only wait at the finish line. So you're seeing a lot of women now. This is why they have all of these predictions where women are going to be single at the rate of 45%, some even 50%. That's nationwide in the West, America. You have to think what it is going to be in the black community. Just look at our topics of discussion on a daily basis. Celebrity gossip, gender war. Celebrity gossip, gender war. Sports, celebrity gossip, gender war. A woman in today's time, the modern black woman, will be fine as long as she's happy for that moment. But she'll eventually spite you because she's going to notice that her happiness is not keeping up with the next woman's happiness. You see these women talk about who's in style. They make these who's in style posts when it comes to the type of men that they should date. I see chicks all the time talking about light-skinned men are back in, and then the comments flood in and will say, no, you need to get a dark-skinned man, and then the woman comes back and retracts her statement. She's a fool. She lets the crowd dictate her taste in everything. Cars, purses, phones. This is the whole dilemma where you have women talking about, I'm not talking to a guy that has green text message bubbles. You see this? A fool. You have to analyze and understand the thinking of women, and especially the women that you're with. See, for so many years and for so long, we have been taught to put up with all type of ignorance from our women. See, we think when you're in high school and middle school that special ed was only for boys, black boys in particular. You didn't really see a lot of white boys in special ed and learning disability classes. You saw them filled with black boys. Rarely did you see black girls in these classrooms, in these settings. Because you walk by, you see the big class, the big open glass. They show you who's in these classrooms. Truth be told, a lot of women should have been in that same classroom, but instead they got the privilege and just got passed along because they were sneakier than the boys. They were able to cheat better than the boys. But you look at the thinking, you look at the behavior to where you have women dressing and putting on lashes, baby hairs at 50 years old. So you have to question the development. You have to question the influence and the aspiration or inspiration that they get to do such. She will be happy building nothing. She's perfectly fine until the conversation starts to flow and the circles starts to evolve. She gets introduced because she's in a job. She's going to be around other women who are doing bigger and better things that she's doing. They're going to be traveling to places that she has not went. So she's going to come home and look at you and ask, well, why am I not getting that type of treatment? Why are we not going to Greece? Why haven't we went out the country yet? Because my friends, they're going out the country not knowing the friends are not telling the whole story. Do you know I see women that have faked engagements, fake marriages on the internet? They'll have their status as engaged for years and years. No wedding pictures, nothing. Because it's a fake persona. It'll be no different than me getting on LinkedIn and saying that I'm a aerospace engineer, knowing damn well I don't know anything about aerospace engineering. Barely passed pre-cal. You'll have a man on here talking about he's an aerospace engineer. This does happen, but not at the rate that you see women fluffing their social media resume. A woman will lie through her teeth to put on a fake image, to fluff her value, but you don't see none of the photos reflect that as a reality. Just selfies and bullshit. When she noticed that her life is not moving at the pace that her friends or so-called friends or associates is moving, she's going to bring that to you. Because you're going to play and fall into the trap that, well, as long as I keep her happy and satisfied with dinners, social media validation, calling her my bae and boo on social media, that's only going to cut it for so long. Because happiness is a temporary emotion, just like anger, just like disappointment. And so, and all of your other emotions, they're temporary feelings. So you're going to be playing and on the hamster wheel trying to keep her happy when you're going to see that that is a impossible task to complete. This is why she needs social media. It is crazy to me that I see women that are engaged, married, and quote unquote fulfilling relationships constantly posting pictures of themselves on social media, constantly engaged in relationship conversation and dialogue. That you said, well, why are you always in the comments of a relationship post if you're in a happy relationship yourself? You have to start asking certain questions, but a lot of men don't know what questions to ask. This is why my channel is here. This is why the manosphere is here. But they're doing everything to sabotage this space. The men in this space are falling weak, letting women and provocateurs, agents come in and tear it down from the inside. It's polluted with incorrect information, polluted with bullshit rhetoric and tips. Because they have the presentation down packed, they are more convincing, just like a bullshit pastor. As long as she's happy, she will be happy with building nothing, and she will kill your dreams. See, women, black women in particular, think that black men came to this space and started this. You have to have an understanding of what you're talking about to even engage in this conversation. There are the Tom Leykis, the Howard Sterns of the world, white men, who began this conversation because of the problems that they were having with their women. So by default, the problems that they were having with their women trickle down to the problems that we're having with our women. We didn't start this conversation. We just joined it because we were seeing and identifying the same things that these white men, because black men did not have the ability to get on air and voice their grievances like these white men had. We did not have the privilege to do so. Instead, we were the targets and the stepping stools to the Ricky Lakes, the Sally Jesse Raphaels, the Donahues, the Jerry Springers, to create a narrative and to create a certain environment in which we hate each other. You see, as long as she's getting likes on her post, she'll be fine until those likes starts to dwindle or they're not increasing the way her friends' likes and engagement is increasing. She's in competition. But she's in competition with a farce, a false reality. Make sure you know the woman that you pick. And this whole building and 50-50 conversation, that is a concept that has been outdated. It is no longer viable. The women do not have the patience. Social media is too upbeat. It's too fast for her to build with you. She wants it already made. But she thinks she's going to get loyalty. And I'm going to do a video about that, I think. I may do a double up following this one. You women think that you're going to get loyalty and faithfulness for a man that you didn't want to stay in the trenches and build with, that you only met at his height. What does he owe you other than the simple things like, again, protection and provision? He doesn't owe you his soul. He doesn't owe you that. You owe him that. You owe the Most High that by honoring the man who went and laid down in that trench, because a lot of women do not have a clue what it takes for a man to be successful, and particularly a black man to be successful in this world. They don't have a fucking clue. It takes blood, sweat, tears, and years to be successful and to be self-made. Yet you think he's just going to give you the spoils of life when he had to suffer, lose friendships, lose money, lose time. You think he's just going to give you his soul? You're a fool. A beautiful, made-up fool. As long as she's happy, she'll be fine with not building anything. And if she see you building something that's taking away from her happiness, because this is what it's all about, her happiness, right? She thinks everything that you do should be for her. Not knowing what it takes and what is necessary. Relationships, and especially marriage, is not about your fucking happiness. It's about duty and accomplishment. The happiness comes from fulfilling goals and being accomplished and taking struggle away. This is why they revert back to their old ways. This is why they go back to the same guy in which they more likely vented to you that they hate, or the type of guys that they dated in the past. Once you don't fit that mold of what they're used to, they'll sabotage it and get out of it and go back to what they know. They'll jump back into the hoe seat. They'll jump back into the spinster life, where you have women damn near pushing 50 still looking for love. It's a wrap. I'm definitely going to do a part 2 to the type of women and just some other things that I want to get into that you should be aware of when it comes to how you move and what's going on in your relationship, because you're not in prison, especially the purple pill men, thinking that you have to stay. That is not a prison sentence. You're not obligated to her. Once you see that she's not serving and she's taking away, get rid of her. But you let me know what you think about this video. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Date Master.